I'm Rob Tiffany. I'm a mobile architect at Microsoft. I'm based in Redmond and spend a lot of time with mobility.
You have indeed. You've been here for a long time on mobility.
It does seem that way. Yes, one of the old timers.
Oh, I don't mean to embarrass you though.
Going back to the Pocket PC.
Yes,
I still have my
indeed.
old iPad somewhere.
It's all right. So do I somewhere.
Excellent, excellent.
So, what have you been speaking at this event specifically?
So specifically, last week we made a big announcement about Windows Phone 8.
Yep.
And so definitely talking a lot about the enterprise features in Windows Phone 8, both for the enterprise integration and things like security, device management, but also talking about what's good for developers and developing line of business apps for big companies and how they can do that for mobile devices. And so one of the sessions I talked about was something a lot of our chief executive officers and CIOs of our major customers, they all follow Gartner and things that Gartner likes to talk about. And so one of them is called Mobile Enterprise Application Platform. It's one of those magic quadrant things. And so I spent some time talking about Microsoft's offering in that and how we can pull back-end systems and data through SQL Server, out through IIS, through a new ASP.NET Web API.
Yay.
Pretty geeky, pretty
Very
cool.
geeky, very cool.
Yes. REST plus JSON for mobile devices consuming.
I love your little outfits and your little movements. That's
Take
brilliant.
That data offline, do transactions on your phone offline, sync back all the way back through SQL, back to back-end systems. So I kind of walk people end to end to how they could build that with the Microsoft Server stack all the way out to our phones.
So, what are your top two or three tips for anyone looking at doing this stuff now?
Well, I think definitely go out to create.msdn.com, start learning about Windows Phone. One of the cool things is, even though we talked about Phone 8 and all the new things, how it shares the core with Windows 8, we also announced that the apps you build today for Phone 7.5, they are going to run on Phone 8. So don't think that you need to wait to get to there to start building it. And also, one of the cool things is, if you really want to geek out about mobile apps, is that we're going to compile all the existing apps and the new apps to machine code in the cloud. So your managed code is just going to get a whole lot faster, which speed is your friend. And so that's all good. So keep doing that. Start thinking about building, we've been focusing the last 2 years on building consumer apps for the phone. Start thinking about the enterprise apps, kind of things we've been doing for years, and bringing those Windows Phone, and then know that when we get to Phone 8, those apps will be privately deployed without having to go through the Microsoft Marketplace. You'll know they have the security the companies need and for workforces. And so start thinking about connected apps for the enterprise, talking to large data sources, back-end systems. Use SQL Server and SSIS adapters to connect to big packages like other databases or SAP or whatever. So we can pull that, aggregate it, and getting out to devices for things that are useful for companies.
Brilliant. So, to sum up the entire event, what would you say were the key things that you've been surprised about, the really unusual things?
The unusual things. Well, we certainly hear the word reimagined a lot, don't we, around here this week?
Hopefully you've also been hearing jolly excited a lot.
Jolly excited. I haven't heard that. I know a lot of people
been around enough
around
Brits?
Amsterdam have been jolly excited for some reason or another. I can't tell you why. But it's pretty crazy around here. I think we've never had so many new things all at the same time that are getting people so excited. You know, with Windows 8, with the Phone 8. And so here, I'm going to throw one little obscure thing. It's not what I've been talking about, but I think it's really important, is our product called Light Switch. We announced at the last TechEd in Orlando that we're going to light switch, drag and drop, easy to use, to build HTML5 apps that work across mobile platforms. This is a big deal. Light switch is easy to use. Remember all of our VB developers, like me and all the rest of us from the 90s, we basically changed the world. And we built stuff for enterprises rapidly. Light switch is that tool today, and it's been doing Silverlight, but the new version is going to put out HTML5 that will run in all cross platforms. This is a big deal, and I think you should take it seriously, because all the CIOs I talk to are looking for a silver bullet to help them with their problems across mobile devices and Windows and things like that. And many of them think HTML5 is the key. I encourage you to learn HTML5, learn how you can now build offline apps. Think about IE10. A lot of times the reason we build native apps for phones is because we don't always have connectivity. And you can't always see the cloud. We have a lot of people around who think we're connected all the time, but we know that's not true. So you need to have offline data. Well, the HTML5, now we're going to have app cache and IE10, so you can have offline web pages. You also are going to, in addition to web storage with 5 meg offline data, we're going to have IndexedDB with 50 meg of index data store, kind of like NoSQL on a device, on every browser, so that you can feel confident. And then now having something like LightSwitch to make that simple, drag and drop, easy way to build that, I think that's going to be a big deal for us, and I think your customers will be really interested in it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.